Warning: the content of the video that you are about to watch pertains to the harvest of fur-bearing wildlife through the practice of ethical, sound wildlife management of modern-day trapping. If this bothers you, if it triggers you in any way, shape, or form, please leave this channel now. Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. Guys, we are here at the car wash fixing to wash a load of traps so that I can kind of go through how I paint mine. We did a video on this before, but just in case some of y'all don't want to go hunt for it, we're going to redo it again. It's just something that you need to do every year, every couple of years anyway. So anyway, we've got a load of 1.5s, number 11s, a few dog proofs here, and we're going to get started on it. So stay with me, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we've got a car wash going here. The biggest thing is just blow all the crap off of it you can get. And you want to make sure you try to get all the dirt from inside the coils on the coil spring. Any place that you've got any grass, you're going to have to go back through and pick all that out because the car washer or fire washer won't blow it out of there. Try to get all that clay and mud and gumbo from inside the coils. That's the biggest thing when you start washing traps. If you've got new traps, let's say you bought, a dozen, 3 dozen, 7 dozen, whatever you bought this year, and they're brand new in the box, this is an excellent way to remove all the grease and oil from the traps. Get them washed up, get that stuff blowed off of them, get them, lay them out somewhere so they can get a little light coat of rust on them. They'll take a dye, they'll take paint a whole lot better than what they will when they're brand new, and you've definitely got to get that grease off of them or they can take it off. If the traps have been waxed previously, you need to reboil them and Santa flush or live, wood ashes, battleborn, something of that sort to get that old wax off of them. And what you want to do is bring it up to a boil with your traps in there and then cut the heat, let it set until it's cooled and the wax will float to the top, and then you can either skim the wax off or you can just dump it really fast. It works better if you just skim the wax off, then pull the traps out, and then there will be no wax left on them. Then they'll take paint better. So that's just a little tip I wanted to share with y'all. It'll make things a whole lot easier for you. On these double jaw number 11s, you want to make sure you look really close in between the double jaw, and the regular jaw. A lot of times crud and dirt gets built up in there really bad. You got to make sure you get all that blowed out as well. On a coil spring, it'll be in the coils, especially if you worked a lot down south. Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, that old buckshot ground that y'all have down there, that can dry in there and be like concrete to try to get out. So look them over really close. Try to get all that dirt and everything blowed out of there the best you can. All right, guys, so now that we've got our traps pretty well washed up, we've got a lot of at least the top layer of crud knocked off of them. We'll have to go through and pick any of the grass out that's wadded up in the swivels and such. Also, now's a good time to go through them. If they need any adjustments made, you will want to set them all, make sure everything's in working order. Replace any tags if you live in a state that has a tag requirement. Anything like that needs to be done, now's the time to do it. There's plenty of things to do in the off season. If a guy just looks around long enough, he'll sure enough find more than what he wants to do. but it will ease the pain of the season of suck. All right, guys, so we've got our traps all washed, and now it's just going through the daunting task of getting all the excess grass and everything out from between the jaws and from off around the swivels if there is any. These swivels are bad about picking up grass and stuff, guys, and I know there's going to be somebody out there, a couple of them actually, are probably going to say, well, you need to switch over to rod swivels, JC Connor's rod swivels and that kind of stuff. Guys, do you have any idea how much money that would be invested to go through? This isn't even a small portion of the traps that Mike and I own. Trying to go through everything and putting rod swivels on there, it's just not feasible. And I know a lot of guys that take time while they're out there on the line to clean that grass out right then. And there's no problem with that if you're running a small amount of traps. But if you're running as many traps in a day as we are, you don't have time to do that. You try to clean it up best you can, make sure it's working, make sure the swivel up here at the trap is working. If there's a mid chain, it's working too. Other than that, you go on, because you don't have time to fool around trying to clean all that off all the time. Just make sure that they're working and move on. So anyway, you just open the jaws up, get all that excess grass and mud and anything that might still be in there, get all that out, and make sure the trap is in working order, make sure that the tag is still on it. That's pretty much all there is to that. Throw it in the pile, grab another one, do the same thing. Just keep repeating until the truckload is done. Then once that's done, then you're ready to start painting, which we will get into later on. One other thing I'd like to go over with you while we're on the subject. Now you can see that trap ring and that split ring got kind of warped out of shape last year by using a puller on it. And that's all that's from. That's not from an animal, that's from using a puller, because we were so dry up here last year that you could not retrieve these things back without one. I'm all for retrieving them if you can. If you can't get them, then by all means just leave it as an artifact and go on. But when you're purchasing these split rings, make sure you're getting them from a good, reputable dealer that handles reputable things. And I'm just going to throw it out there. I get all mine from Cumberland's. I've never had a problem with them. I've never had one opened up by an animal. I've never had one distorted by an animal. I've heard some real horror stories from some other trappers, across the country who have bought them from other places, and they've had them straightened out, had them opened up. If you bought some of these from somebody else, the thing you can do is, if you don't want to get rid of them, and I know it's a little extra work, it's a little extra expense, is just take a piece of 3/32 cable and a double ferrule and add a safety in here, so to speak. You know what I mean? Just add a loop through there. And we know that ferrule swagged is 900 pounds. We know that, and we know that it's not going to open up. Then when it comes time to pull, if you can't retrieve it, you can't get it out any other way, just take a pair of cable cutters, cut that cable, take your split ring deal here off, and you're back in business again. Personally, if it were me, I would, and bought them from somewhere and these were soft and no good, I would scrap them, get rid of them, go buy them somewhere else. Make sure that you're getting good quality stuff, guys. That's the biggest thing. I always drop a link to Cumberland's website in the description. So anytime you ever need to look anything up there, you can always go to my descriptions and get the link to their website. One word about the dog proofs, cleaning those out. They do make a clean out tool for these. I'm not sure if Cumberland sells it. I'm pretty sure F&T does though. But you might look, see if Cumberland's do sell it. It's just a little rod with a deal on the end of it. You just run it down in there. Cleans all the old bait and everything out. Or you can do what we do a lot of times, and that is take them and lay them out somewhere and just let the mice go in there and clean them out. They do a heck of a good job. So anyway, that's make sure you get all that old bait and crud out of them. A lot of times mud and dirt will build up in here. Make sure you get that cleaned out really good. That's pretty much all there is to cleaning up dog proofs. Just another quick word about split rings. We switched over last year and got away from the big ones and went to the smaller 1/2 inch ones. Guys, we never had a problem. We held coyotes with them, we held bobcat, we held coon, otters. We never had, and held everything alive. We never had one problem with these. We did distort some of them a little bit by using a puller on them, but as far as having any opened up from an animal, we never did. They're the same gauge steel as the big ones, but half the room. So, I mean, if there's something there that you might want to think about, is dropping down to these smaller size. We were a little bit concerned, but when we started using them, but there's only one way to test something, and that is to just use it. So anyway, yeah, we never had a lick of problems with these, and I know Cumberland's carries these as well. Okay, guys, we've got our paint mixed up here in our bucket. It's what we're using is a black studio color exterior paint primer, a flat black. We're mixing 1 gallon to 1 gallon of low odor mineral spirits. We've got it already mixed up here in our bucket, so I guess the only thing left to do is to get busy and start dipping. All right, gang, so we got our paint ready to go here. It's a little bit lumpy. It really needs stirred up really good. I can't, for some reason, Mike and I can't find our paint mixer for the drill, so we're just going to go ahead and dip a couple just to show y'all what we do, how we do it. We just take a trap here, and I had a hook, and I can't seem to see it right at the moment. Never fails. Every time you go to wadding them up, that's what you get. Anyway, just dip trap down in the paint. Make sure it's covered up good. Got a good coat on it. It's a little thick. It probably actually needs a little more thinner added to it, but it will be all right for demonstration purposes here. When we get ready, it looks like it's fixing to rain. When we get ready to actually do it, we'll have everything right and ready, but I just want to kind of finish this video for y'all. Anyway, there it is. Just lay the trap out there, and then on a good day, couple hours, that trap will be dry, odor free. Here's one I painted earlier. Trap's not all gummed up, clumpy or anything. It's dry. It's took about 3 hours today. The humidity's a little high. That trap's dry and odor free and can be put in the ground. So, all right, guys, we're going to end this video here. I just got done working up a bunch of catfish, and it's really hot, and I'm tired, and we're just going to end it here. And if you would, please just hit that thumbs up for me. That's all I'm asking. And once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.